all news, all the time. This is 1010 Wins at 92.3 FM, New York.
Good morning. It's 36 degrees at 2 o'clock. It's Friday, November 28th. I'm Matt Wolf. Here's what's happening. Black Friday it is. And the holidays?
I'm trying to find a gentleman doll. Me too. Do you have any more in the bag?
And the shopping season is in full swing. The 99th annual Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade is in the books. We'll have a look back at the quintessential New York event. A not-so-fun holiday for people in the Midwest. Snow, rain, ice, all of it making for miserable conditions there. We'll unbox some of the holiday and Christmas music hitting shelves and streaming services. And holiday shopping sales could surpass a major milestone this year. When sports, Islanders welcome in the Flyers to UBS later today. Devils are in Buffalo. Knicks take on the Bucks at MSG. Wins Nissan 201. Let's get you where you need to go with Susan Browning.
And the Bronx is where we head. This time, the crash is still there. The overturn, they're working on that northbound Deegan. Right around exit 11, that's Van Cortlandt Park. The right lane is getting by, so you're not going to have any troubles getting through that area on that northbound Deegan right at Van Cortlandt Park. Fire department activity still northbound FDR ramp to exit 18. That's Willis Avenue Bridge, and that's actually the spot where the FDR becomes the Harlem River Drive. You do have now just one lane down, so that's a little good news because all lanes were closed earlier, so now you're good to go. Here's what you need to know about the bridges and tunnels. Good to go there as well. Not seeing any issues on the Hudson River crossings. George looking really, really good. Outbound, inbound, both levels. Hudson Tube, check out okay. Ditto for the East River crossings. Here's what we see in Long Island's Big Three. Northern State and the Southern State are looking good. LIE as well in both directions. And we have some transit notes to pass along for Black Friday. I almost said Big Friday. Same thing, right?
Oops.
Metro North's on a special schedule. What it is, you'll find out on the website. NJ Transit, a weekend schedule. LIRR, a regular schedule. But off-peak fares at all times for you, my friend. Susan Browning's 1010 Wins at 92.3 FM.
Now the AccuWeather forecast from meteorologist LaTroy Thornton.
Chilly conditions remain mostly in place over the next few days, but the story for today will be the wind, as gusts to 40 miles per hour at times bring AccuWeather real field temperatures down to just the 20s and lower 30s, despite an actual high of 43 in Midtown. There may also be some flurries around with just a few clouds otherwise. However, Saturday simply features sunshine. The wind finally backs off through the day, but it stays chilly with another high of 43. Then Sunday brings less of that chill for anyone returning from the holiday.
Excellent.
But rain also returns to the forecast for the afternoon, perhaps into the early evening after highs just short of 50.
And it's 36 degrees in Central Park after the turkey feast, the stuffing, the gravy, the pumpkin pie. Who's hungry again? I am. You can watch football, flop on the couch. Oh, but wait, there's shopping going on, right? With the rise of inflation, though, due to the tariffs, consumers are budgeting more and more and more.
As inflation continues to squeeze household budgets, many shoppers are adjusting their expectations for this year's Black Friday deals.
I feel like I just really have to save, and now with, everything going up in prices in gas and groceries, it's just something that, we have to take a cut in.
Retailers are rolling out deep discounts in an effort to entice cautious shoppers. Walmart, Target, and Amazon are dropping the PlayStation 5 Slim to $374, down from $449.
That tightening of the budget we really see coming from concerns about rising prices.
That's Melissa Don reporting. Well, a little wind didn't stop the annual Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade Thursday. The balloons lowered a little bit, which provided for a different perspective on things. Our Julia Papa was with parade goers.
I'm really happy I was able to bring my kids with me. So, now we'll have a new tradition.
Yes. What did you think of the fact that the balloons were slightly lower this year? I guess a different perspective, right?
Yeah, you could see more detail that way. It was...
Well, this year, they were a little lower, but they were just as big and colorful and beautiful as ever. The floats, I thought, were just unbelievable. And of course, we have people here.
Right. I see some turkeys over there.
Some turkey hats.
Turkey hats.
And I think one guy is in full turkey outfit, but I don't think he's going into the oven anytime soon, right?
I don't think so.
Juliet Papa, 1010 Wins on 92.3 FM at the 99th Annual Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade.
Well, it was all good here. For some, it turned into a white Thanksgiving. A winter system is dropping all kinds of precipitation over the Great Lakes region, a large swath of the country from Montana to New York State getting the winter storm treatment. Lake effect snow, winter weather advisories, the whole nine, and even more is on the way.
Millions bracing for an even bigger storm, threatening to upend the trip back home after Thanksgiving. Major airlines, including United and American, already offering waivers for travelers through Chicago, which could get hit with more than 6 inches of snow. TSA expecting to screen more than 3 million passengers nationwide on Sunday alone. Flyers are already frustrated.
The trip was a little hectic. It was delayed, and then there was turbulence. It was stressful.
Ahead of that next cross-country storm, experts urging passengers to download their airline's app. And if your flight is disrupted, call and get in line.
That's Morgan Norwood reporting. A star Knicks player was robbed of nearly $200,000 in watches and jewelry. Now, all this happening at the Dominic Hotel in Soho. Josh Hart left a duffel bag in his room there. When he returned about an hour later, the watch case was gone. Inside, there were 3 watches, a bracelet worth a total of $185,000.
Wow.
No arrests have been made, and police don't have a suspect's description. We're getting word of this crime now. It happened back in September. Also word that a West Virginia National Guard member has died from injuries suffered in that ambush shooting in Washington, D.C. Wednesday while on duty. Crowds of Sarah Beckstrom's friends and family gathered in Webster Springs, West Virginia, to share their memories and uplift their community and Sarah's family. President Donald Trump made the announcement during a holiday phone call to service members and their families.
Sarah Beckstrom of West Virginia, one of the guardsmen that we're talking about, highly respected, young, magnificent person. Started service in June of 2023. Outstanding in every way. He's just passed away.
Second Guardsman Andrew Wolf, also from West Virginia, still hospitalized, and federal officials also identifying the suspect, an Afghan national who came to the U.S. in 2021. Ramanullah Lakanwal, as an Afghan national who worked with U.S. forces during the Afghanistan war.
Sources familiar with the investigation tell ABC News Lakanwal was a highly trained and trusted member of an elite Afghan counterterrorism force called the Zero Units, partnering with U.S. Special Forces and the CIA during the war in Afghanistan. He came to the U.S. in 2021 under a Biden-era program evacuating Afghan refugees during the chaotic withdrawal of U.S. forces. Sources tell ABC News the suspect was formally granted asylum this April under the Trump administration.
That's correspondent Jay O'Brien. Holiday music releases, we got them. We'll give you the rundown on some great new releases on the shelves and online. Tell you about that in just a minute, but first, let's get you where you need to go. Wins News Time 211 with Susan Browning.
And in the Bronx, a crash with an overturn northbound on the D and right around exit 11 for Van Cortlandt Park. The right lane is getting by, but that's going to be there for a while because they got to mop that up. Fire department activity remains on the northbound FDR ramp to the Willis Avenue Bridge. That's exit 18, right in that spot where the FDR becomes the Harlem River Drive. No big backup behind that, so you're good to go. Only one lane is closed down. And here's what we see in Long Island's Big Three. So far, so good. Knock wood. Southern State, Northern State, and the LIE in both directions checking out okay. Here's what you need to know about the bridges and tunnels. Same thing for them. The East River Crossing's not seeing any problems whatsoever. At this point, no stalls or collisions reported, and the Hudson River crossings are checking out okay as well. In Westchester County and Tarrytown, police activity remains on the Tappan Zee Bridge, an abandoned vehicle on the span, and Marine units are in the Hudson River. Susan Browning, 1010 Wins at 92.3 FM.
Let's get a check of the AccuWeather forecast. Meteorologist LaTroy Thornton.
Expect a clear sky for much of the early morning and cold conditions as a breeze increases through the morning on the way to a low of 33. But AccuWeather real field temperatures fall into the upper teens late thanks to that increased wind. And it looks windy for the rest of today as well, with sunshine, some clouds, even some flurries in some spots. Look for a high of 43, but winds gusting to 40 miles per hour keep those real fields in the 20s to lower 30s. Out of yet another brisk, cold, and clear Friday night with a low of 32. Saturday also features only limited clouds. It's another chilly day, but it won't feel quite as bad with that breeze winding down through the day and another high of 43. But more clouds return on Sunday with some rain late and a high of 48. I'm AccuWeather meteorologist LaTroy Thornton on New York's weather station 1010 Winds on 92.3 FM.
Well, tens of thousands of American troops stationed around the world this Thanksgiving are getting a little taste of home with the Pentagon shipping in a feast of holiday favorites.
In Romania, soldiers hit the field for a game of football.
keeping holiday tradition alive while working up an appetite for what was coming. A feast filled with festive favorites.
Meals like this help the morale because it allows soldiers to feel that comfort of home.
Troops overseas had a smorgasbord of choices, with the Pentagon flying in more than 276,000 pounds of turkey and beef.
That's Tina Krause reporting there are more than 165,000 active U.S. service members based overseas this Thanksgiving, with most based in Japan. Well, the man who checked his lottery ticket as he prepared for a hunting trip found that he was a big winner. But
68-year-old Craig Capel of Traverse City, Michigan, bought a $2 Lottery for Life ticket in the store where he regularly buys his lottery tickets. The next day, he got up early to go hunting, checked his ticket, and realized he'd won $25,000 a year for life from the Michigan Lottery. When he got back from his trip, he called the lottery office, which verified he had a winning ticket, satisfying his skeptical wife.
Christopher Cruz there. Capel chose to take the lump sum payment of $390,000, which he plans to invest. He'll also take a vacation with his wife and live debt-free. Must be nice. Well, can artificial intelligence be used to turn down some of the heated political rhetoric on social media?
Researchers used AI to modify the feed on the social media platform X for more than 1,200 users for 10 days during the 2024 presidential campaign. Stanford University professor Michael Bernstein says they shifted posts for things like political violence and undemocratic ideas lower in users' feeds. Compared to a control group, users reported feeling warmer toward opposing political parties. In fact,
we were able to cool tensions about back the equivalent of one presidential term.
Social media platforms have become key sources for political information, while their algorithms play a powerful role in what users see.
That's Heather Bosch. The findings have been published in the journal Science. Get out of the mono and into the stereo. Make the switch to All News 92.3 FM, powered by 1010 Wins.
All news, all the time. This is 1010 Wins at 92.3 FM. You give us 22 minutes, we'll give you the world.
Good morning. It's 36 degrees in Midtown Manhattan at 2:20. I'm Matt Wolf. Here's what's happening. A holiday shopping milestone could be broken this season. Mount Vernon comes together after a fire ripped through an apartment complex there. Two-time major golf pro Fuzzy Zeller has died. Singer Ray J arrested in L.A. on Thanksgiving Day in an alleged domestic dispute on Instagram. And in 1010 Wins Entertainment, one actor is on cloud nine.
Of course he can talk. He's a human being, isn't he? Yeah, that's what I'm afraid of.
So Liverpool there. And geared up to play Sir Paul McCartney in an upcoming Beatles movie. Win Sports. Islanders welcome in the Flyers to UBS later. Devils are in Buffalo. Knicks take on the Bucks at MSG. Winds AccuWeather. Mainly clear overnight. Breezy and cold. Lows going down to 33. Real feels in the upper teens. Wins News Time 2:21. Let's get you where you need to go with Susan Browning.
And now I'm seeing a stalled car on the eastbound side of the Bruckner at the Sheridan, and that crash with an overturn still being mopped up on the northbound Deegan at exit 11 for Van Cortlandt Park. But you do have the right lane getting by, so it's not really an issue to be driving through that spot. Fire department activity still northbound FDR ramp to the Willis Avenue Bridge, just one lane closed down there at exit 18. And here's what we see on Long Island's Big Three. It's been pretty quiet on the northern state, southern state, and the LIE in the way of collisions or stalls. Nothing to report there. Here's what you need to know about the bridges and tunnels. Same thing for those Hudson River crossings and the East River crossings. We've got a good ride all around, pretty quiet at this time of the morning. In Westchester County and Terrytown, police activity remaining up the Tappan Zee Bridge right there, 287 where it starts onto the Tappan Zee, the abandoned vehicle on the span, and Marine units are in the Hudson River. I'm Susan Browning. 1010 Wins at 92.3 FM.
And after the turkey feast, it's time for football or just straight up relaxing. But today, the holiday shopping season kicks into full gear with Black Friday.
Black Friday deals along with holiday bargain shopping. National Retail Federation officials are projecting holiday sales will surpass $1 trillion for the first time ever this year. NRF Chief Economist Mark Matthews says the growth is due to higher tariffs, but he says Americans are still in a spending mood.
It's the usual things, apparel, gift cards, toys.
Gift cards are the number one choice of what people want to receive. Obviously, that makes it a little bit easier for you. If you don't want to return anything, it's easier if you buy it yourself.
Michelle Franzen, ABC News.
3 suspects wanted in a carjacking in Greenwich Village after threatening a driver with a machete on new surveillance video. Cops say the 27-year-old driver was sitting in his parked Honda on West 11th Street in the Village, and that's when 3 male suspects forced him out of his car and stole it. The driver not injured. Police still searching for the suspects. Anyone with information regarding the incident, you're asked to call Crime Stoppers at 1-800-577-TIPS. Well, some much-needed holiday spirit in Mount Vernon. Residents there stepping up to help out 200 people who can't return home for Thanksgiving after a fire ripped through an apartment complex there. The fire on Cottage Avenue last Sunday left hundreds with nothing for the holidays. The community bringing a mountain of donations by having a charity football game there. Good move. The Dole Center received an overwhelming amount of donated items to the point where officials had to tell people stop donating and instead make monetary contributions or give gift cards. Many of the players in the game and first responders grew up in the Mount Vernon area. Nicely done, everyone. Now to another unfortunate fire situation in Hong Kong. The death toll is rising from that high-rise residential complex fire there. Authorities say it's at least 83 dead as of Friday morning. The number is still expected to go up, with many still missing.
New drone footage shows the scorched buildings. The number of dead now at 94, more than 70 others injured. Hong Kong's chief executive says crews have lost contact with nearly 300 people. 3 construction executives arrested on suspicion of manslaughter in connection with alleged flammable materials.
And that is Lindsay Davis. The buildings had been under renovations, wrapped in bamboo scaffolding and green netting. Now, police have arrested 2 directors and an engineering consultant contracted to perform maintenance on these buildings. Well, Amazon is warning its customers to watch out for cyber criminals posing as its employees.
The FBI says thieves pretending to be Amazon representatives have stolen more than $260 million so far this year by taking over victims' accounts. The fraudsters send customers fake messages about delivery or account issues to gain access. Amazon is urging customers to only use its website or app to communicate with customer service, set up 2-factor authentication to protect their accounts, and never make payments through unofficial channels.
That's Michael Wallace reporting. It's 36 degrees in Midtown, going down to a low of 33. Increasingly breezy and cold in the overnight. Temperatures dropping real field temps into the teens. Then later today, windy and feeling cold with sun and some clouds. There could be some flurries in the area. The high 43. Winds gusting. That's going to be the story later. Real feels stay in the 20s to lower 30s. Now, Bloomberg Money Watch on 1010 Wins.
Mortgage applications to buy a home in the U.S. surged last week to the highest level since early 2023, despite still elevated borrowing costs. The Mortgage Bankers Association's index of home purchase applications jumped 7.6% in the week ended November 21st. Despite gaining close to 1.5% Wednesday, NVIDIA is facing rising concerns that its stranglehold on the market for semiconductors used in artificial intelligence computing is slipping, and that skepticism is now showing up in the stock market. I'm Dan Schwartzman, Bloomberg Money Watch on 1010 Wins on 92.3 FM.
Wins News Time, 2:30. Good morning, I'm Matt Wolf. Golf pro Fuzzy Zeller, 2-time major champion whose career was tainted by a racially insensitive joke about Tiger Woods, has died.